Hello, Daphne here with another video for you. This is for all the people that have a sense of humor, and it is titled, Where, Oh Where Does Bad Art Go? Did you know there is a museum of bad art? Well, there is. This tongue-in-cheek museum is located in the basement of the Somerville Theater David Square in Somerville, Massachusetts. Unfortunately, it is currently closed. But I was able to bring these amazing images to you because I got them off the internet. Anyway, the museum has a really amusing tagline. And this is what it is. Art too bad to be ignored. The only museum dedicated to preservation, collection, exhibition, and celebration of bad art. The museum's website describes their collections ranging from the work of talented artists who have gone awry to works of exuberant, although crude, execution by artists barely in control of their paintbrushes. Apparently, all these works of, quote, art, unquote, have a special quality that sets them apart, in one way or another, from the merely incompetent. Some say this art is so bad it's good, and I would definitely agree with that. The images featured here are endlessly amusing, at least to me, and I hope they will be to you as well. Their descriptions are proof positive that the museum curator has an absolutely wicked sense of humor. So we start out here with two amazing renditions of the famous rock icon Elvis Presley. The one on the left looks like a Spanish Elvis who was heading up some famous cartel. Oh my goodness. That sort of bouffant hairstyle on the right is an interesting feature, wouldn't you agree? And the pink and the red lipstick and the tie. You didn't really see Elvis too often in a tie. So on the right is another rendition of the famous rock and roller. A refreshing multicultural treatment of one of the 20th century's most beloved icons. The Museum of Bad Art curators contrast this work with Velvet Elvis, a work that is more suited for the museum of questionable taste, the International Schlock Collection, or the National Treasury of dubious home decoration. Okay, so you've got Pablo Presley and you've got Pretty Boy Presley, two absolutely exquisite examples that have a home now forever in the Museum of Bad Art. Next we have a damsel in distress. Oh! Blinded by the northern lights, the beautiful maiden wandered the coast highway nightly, hoping for a glimpse of her lover's ship that she feared lost at sea. Unaware that he had joined the Navy because he preferred the company of his fellow sailors. Well, I guess this will be a never-ending search, but it's forever memorialized in this dramatic cliff, hanging on a cliff painting, forever to be enjoyed by those visiting the Museum of Bad Art. Next we have this incredibly amusing image, to me at least, of a dog and what is supposed to be a chipmunk, although I don't know that it looks much like a chipmunk. But this masterpiece was purchased at a thrift store in Boston, Massachusetts. Thank goodness for that is all I have to say. This painting is described as follows. No longer able to tolerate the incessant barking, Charlie the Chipmunk used a Band-Aid to tape Sheba the sheepdog's mouth shut before posing with her on top of this picnic table. And look at that Band-Aid. That beautiful blue Band-Aid with yellow and red stars on it, emphasizing that that was the perfect decorative Band-Aid to keep that dog's mouth shut. Oh, gosh. Whoever found that at that thrift store did us all a favor by tickling our funny bones with this image. Next, we have this amazing rendition of a woman. And this has an interesting history because it was literally found and retrieved by a Good Samaritan from a trash heap in Boston, Massachusetts. Thank goodness this wonderful piece of art was not thrown out with the rest of the garbage. And here's how it is described. The motion, the chair, the sway of her chest, the subtle hues of the sky, the expression on her face, every detail cries out, masterpiece. Oh my goodness, that is just such an amusing description. I just laughed my head off when I read that. But thank goodness they preserved this so-called masterpiece for all to enjoy for years to come. Now here is one of my favorites. It's titled Chiquita. And the description of this is also just as funny as it can be. And very clever, I think. Here it is. Oblivious to the advancing lava flow, the lovely iconic tropical spokeswoman calmly gives an alluring wink of the eye as all hell breaks loose behind her. This is another painting that I am so glad was saved so that we could all get a great big chuckle out of its artistic qualities, shall I say. Its distinctive artistic qualities. Okay, here we have a very cute looking pooch with some very unusual features. Pomeranians have distinctive tails that are feathered and fanned forward over their backs, as well as luxurious coats of fur in a variety of colors, as you can see here. Most of them, however, like all the other dogs on the planet, have legs as well as feet. But those appear to be missing here. So we will have to enjoy this painting just as it is, another perfect entry into the Museum of Bad Art. Oh, here is one that has a very amusing description. And here it is. The artist presents a coachman's eye view of a deserted street in a generic Mediterranean village. While the tradition of depicting horses is as old as the prehistoric paintings in the Lascaux caves of France, this anonymous painter of this work of art made the unusual artistic decision to concentrate on the part of the horses that left the barn last. Oh gosh, that is such an amusing description if you ask me. And then somebody else made the remark about these horses actually carrying a high poster iron bed railings. Yeah, well, I can see that. Can you? One more thing before I leave these incredible works of bad art, and I hope you've enjoyed each and every one of them. I want you to know that the museum is looking for a new home in the Boston area. If you know of a place suitable for art that's so bad it's good, please, by all means, contact the museum. All of us bad art lovers will thank you profusely for doing such a good deed. Then we can all continue to be endlessly amused by the museum's curator making up these captions for these art pieces that are so bad they are good. So I hope you've enjoyed them, and by all means, see if you can find some more, because these are all treasures, in my opinion, even though they aren't headed for the Louvre in Paris.